All right, hello again. I know it's been a little while. I wanted to do a quick update and then also um, talk about some of the things that are really hard when you're trying to date after you've been with a narcissist. So, the update is that I had one of my most recent videos was about how I chose to see my narcissist again right before I moved out of the state. I saw her. And was just trying to get her out of my system, and that actually worked really well. But in the process, I found out, of course, she was dating someone else, which I figured. Um, and of course, she was trying to kind of use this person to make me jealous, but also kind of put this other person down, like sort of trying to say, you're better, but now I'm with her, but I'll just cheat with you anyway. Of course, classic. Um, so anyway, she was just so nasty about this new person. I thought, oh man, I should really consider warning this person in a way. So I actually looked her up, um, and I sent an email saying some of the things that my narcissist had said about her because they were just nasty. And then, trying to convince her, like, I really, really want nothing to do with this person at all. I just really don't want someone else to get pulled into what I was pulled into. And if you see, these few things popping up, because I knew they would, don't think that they're isolated incidents and don't think that you're alone. Like, if you ever want to talk about them, look me up. And it actually happened a couple of weeks ago. This person sent me the nicest message in return and said, thank you so much. It was really validating to get your message. I got it at a time when I had just started to see some of the things you were talking about. And so, thankfully I got out. So that's really cool. And now, we're in different states, but we text all the time and we'll probably visit the other one's city. So, I actually got a new friend out of it. So I know people have really mixed feelings about whether or not you should do that, but that was a really awesome outcome for me. Okay, so now on to how do you date after a narcissist? I don't know, but I'm still in the first stages of really trying to sort it out. And it is hard. So, some things that are hard for me are I legitimately don't understand what's normal in a relationship in any sense. Um, I don't know how often you should see someone when you first start dating. I don't know when you should say, I love you. I don't know when you should move in. I definitely don't know what a normal amount of attachment to friends is. I've always been in touch with a lot of people, and I have a lot of really good friends, and they're always really important to me. But I've had a lot of relationships where, for one reason or another, they've all been kind of loners, by choice. And then, of course, with the narcissist specifically, there weren't any true friends, right? There were just the people who would kind of worship her and she would just enjoy the attention, or it was full on, she was trying to date someone else. And so I definitely have a ton of phone anxiety, which is really hard because phones are everywhere. So I get really anxious when the person I'm dating is on her phone a bunch, which is ridiculous. She has lots of friends. She has actual friends as well, right? Like a normal human. So, but I just am oh, I just my chest gets tight, and I want to ask who it is, and it's not pretty. So that's been a little bit rough. And then normal things too, where I'll have I'll show her a picture on my phone or something. I don't want to hand my phone over because so many times before, everything that was on my phone got twisted to hell about what was going on. Seriously, if a coworker texted me a picture of a dog, I like dogs a lot, then it would get me in trouble for days because, oh, you must be dating her, God knows what. The projection was crazy. So the phone thing is definitely hard. I don't understand boundaries either. I think, so the person I'm dating right now also was kind of into moving pretty quickly, And I was too, because I hadn't found anyone that I wanted to even get like anywhere near. So this was the first time that I was like ready for something. Um, so I think I probably jumped in a little too hard. But then pulling back after that is like so stressful, because then it feels like, well, this person used to text me back right away, but like now why don't they? And like, am I not a priority? And like, oh, they're joining all these activities. Does that mean that they want to like see me less? And things are just like, it's not right in my head at all, and it keeps getting me in trouble. So I'm having to practice a lot trying to like have a reaction and then stop myself and think about why I'm having this reaction, and then like maybe call a friend or maybe write in like a forum. Like there's a Facebook forum that's been really helpful to me, where a lot of people will post things like that, like, hey, am I crazy? What do you all think? Is that person crazy? What do you think? So that's been really great to have like the community of people who have been through this too, because everyone else would just think that I have lost my mind, because like I kind of have. So I need help getting back to the real world. And just like weird things that make me react that really shouldn't. Like, oh, you're going out of town, and we only have 3 days to hang out. So I feel like I should prioritize my time to see you because you're going to be gone for a week. And then she makes plans one of the nights that I assumed we were going to hang out. And then I'm like, oh, it's just not okay. And I have so many triggers that I did not understand. I didn't, because I wasn't this person before I dated the narcissist for 2.5 years. So now I have all these reactions that are really not helpful, and they're also very physical. So sometimes it's even really obvious to the person I'm dating if I have a reaction. So even if I don't talk about it, obviously I'm like, just everything is like tense and really panicky. So one of the triggers is obviously there's the phone thing, and then there's the talking to exes in any form. I want to say, kind of especially with lesbians, for some reason, a lot of us are friends with our exes. I'm really not, because I've mostly dated kind of awful people. So I'm not, so I don't really understand this. But this new person I'm dating is friends with multiple exes of hers. And so I had to really like take a moment and work through how that is definitely different from the narcissist and her keeping exes around constantly just to make me feel awful. So that was hard to get past. I also like don't handle other people's anger very well at all. So even I think just kind of like a normal level of like I'm angry or I'm annoyed, I don't know how to get through an argument and feel like someone could still care about me. So, and I think, that stems from like narcissistic rage happening a whole lot. And every time that happened, like it was during the discard as well. So it was definitely headed towards like, I really don't, I mean, obviously, like she never really cared, but it was definitely headed towards her saying like, I really don't care about you or your feelings or anything at all. So this isn't like narcissistic rage, but I get so panicky when there's like any sort of conflict. It's like really not useful. I have like huge walls that come up, even if I just like am thinking about what I should send in a text. If I feel like it's not what the other person wants to hear, my body gets tense. My emotions actually completely shut off sometimes, which is new to me. I was in like an argument, not an intense one really at all, but just like a disagreement the other day with the person I'm dating, and I just I had nothing there. And then she interpreted it as like, why don't you care about this at all? And I'm like, I physically cannot care. Like my protection wall just comes up so strongly that I can't do anything about it. So I need to sort that out. helping someone understand trauma is another thing that's really hard because I don't totally understand it. I know it's like definitely stored in here, like my fight or flight stuff is really intense, um, and my anxiety that I didn't have nearly to this extent before. Um, it's really hard to not to take it personally when people don't get it or don't want to like learn quite as much about it as you wish they would. Um, and I mean, the person that I'm dating like asked for articles and wanted to learn and stuff, but um, sometimes things pop up that are just really hard, and yeah, it's hard not to take that personally when they seem to just like think that what you're doing is about them. It's been so hard for me to explain the difference between because she thinks that I'm thinking of my ex in these moments when I have reactions, which kind of would seem like I'm not over her, but I actually confidently can say that I completely am. The reactions are like, I guess they are kind of a weird assumption in my body that I'm going to get the same reaction from someone else as I got from my narcissist. It's really hard to explain. If you have a better way, like, please tell me because it's not working well for me. And of course, trust is like so hard. So hard. I don't believe a lot of the things that are said to me, good or bad. Even things that are supposed to be like a compliment, I just feel like it's love bombing. Things that are more like that have nothing to do with me and that are like normal relationship things. I think like maybe we should spend a night apart because like I need to work on myself in this way, or I need to like go to this event or gathering or whatever. It sounds to me like I want to go hang out with someone else that I'm trying to date. And yeah, it's just something to like try really hard to work through because that's not right, and it like really messes up a relationship when you have to keep saying like, could you please remind me of what you really mean by that, or can you tell me again about this ex and how like you don't want to hook up with her anymore, or can you run by how when you go hang out with this group, like tell me about the dynamics. Like it's too much. Like I know I should ask for it sometimes, because if a person is going to be with me, they should somewhat, be receptive to what I've gone through. But it is becoming a lot, and I don't want anyone else to feel like they have to completely take on what I'm still struggling with. So, those are the things that have kind of popped up a lot for me. If you have anything that you want to talk about, please put it in the comments. If you have dealt with any of these similar things and you have a good way to try to describe what you're feeling to your partner, please let me know because I'm not doing a good job right now. And yeah, that's it. Let me know how you're doing in the comments. Thanks for watching.